Hello, everyone. My name is Malena-Webber. How are you, Google? Excellent. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to talk to you about crowdfunding. I'm going to talk to you about promoting music. I'm going to talk to you about both how to do crowdfunding and also why it is my religion and why I love it. I hope this is going to be fun for you, whether or not you have a well-paid day job or you are just a musician that snuck into Google somehow. You probably know crowdfunding is something, is when a group comes together to fund something that would not be possible without that. So Kickstarter, Patreon, Indiegogo, GoFundMe, or just putting your hat out on the sidewalk when you are a guitarist, or even the kings funding bards of old. The Witcher is a good example of a bard who did not get funded. This is patronage, and I just say that so you know what it is. But I'm going to talk a little bit first about my personal experience. In fact, this is how it's going to go. I'm going to talk about the Double Clicks, which is my band and who I am. I'm going to talk about what crowdfunding is and isn't, and then I'm going to talk about building a crowd, because that's my favorite part. What makes a good crowd for crowdfunding, which is quantity, investment, and access. And there will be time for Q&A at the end, so start writing down your questions in your brain so I can answer them. But first, I'm going to talk about my band, and by talk about my band, I mean I'm going to sing you a song, because I think like many musicians, do I have any musicians here, by the way? I know a lot of you are. Excellent. Like most musicians, I believe that my music is beyond genre and beyond description, so I would like to just play it for you instead of trying to tell you what it is. This is a song about being uncomfortable in public and around people. I like to start any meeting with it. Anybody here ever been uncomfortable around people or in large groups? Excellent. Great. Well, this is a song about social anxiety, and of course, as it is a song about social anxiety, it has a dance move. So I'm not kidding, like you to dance with me. You may have to put down your lunch to do this, but you don't have to. Okay, this is how the dance move goes. All right. Put your hands on top of your head like this. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, excellent. Put your hands to the front, and then put your hands to the side. There are words as well. It goes like this. Party, parties. Let's say it together. Party, parties. A little bit louder. Party, parties. No one can see you. You're safe. I can't see you. I'm not even here. Are you ready? Are you ready to party? Okay, thank you. I'm gonna tell you what you need to party right. It's the new craze, it's the way every night. Put your pants on and drive up to the party house and suddenly remember that you don't like going out. Yeah, you're still a weirdo. Well, imagine that. Here is your solution. Go and find the host's cat. Hanging with cats at parties. Party, parties, it's the new movement. Why don't you join me? We don't want your judgment and we don't need your pity. This is where I wanna be, hanging out with cats at parties. Walk into the party like, no thanks, I'll keep my coat. Ending conversations with a nice Taylor Swift quote and saying things like, I don't like local beer. Scanning every corner for the reason you are here. There is a cat, so I'm not technically alone now. Don't tell me to smile, I am in my comfort zone now. Yes, I'm having fun, I don't need a drink. This is way more comfortable than you probably think. All right, here we go, everybody. Hanging with cats at parties, yeah. Party, parties, it's the new movement. Why don't you join me? We don't want your judgment and we don't need your pity. This is where I wanna be, hanging out with cats at parties. Give it up for the lighting guy, everybody. A cat is not a bigot or a sexist. A cat could care less if you even exist. Unless you're giving it treats, it will just stare at you, and that's the kind of friend I want. What can I do? Our numbers grow out of nowhere like mitosis. We're all slowly contracting, toxoplasmosis. We don't need your shame, our life is better 'cause it's lame. And tonight's just about one thing. Hanging with cats at parties, everybody. Party parties, it's the new movement. Why don't you join me? We don't want your judgment. We don't need your pity. This is where I wanna be. Hanging out with cats at parties. Hanging out with cats at parties. Hanging out with cats at parties. Thank you. Thank you. Is that what you expected? Yeah, that's the double clicks. That's what we do. Woo. I have a cat named Marzipan. You can ask me for pictures later. I don't know why she's not in this deck. I made a huge mistake. So yeah, that's who we are. We have, as was mentioned, 6 albums. 4 of them have charted on Billboard. We've toured the US and Canada and Europe and Australia, and we are both musicians for a living. The band is my sister, Aubrey, and myself. But how did we get there? Well, I will tell you. We started the band in 2011, like most people start bands, with some sad songs and a guitar. I wrote some angsty poetry. My sister said, you should set this to music. I picked up a guitar. I realized that it was much easier to play than my college boyfriend had led me to believe. I should not have been as impressed as I was. And then we started going to a weekly open mic to play songs. We were real weirdos at this open mic because we played songs about things like Dungeons and Dragons and dinosaurs, and people were like, I don't know what those things are. And we made people laugh, and we had a good time, and we kind of just did it because it was fun. It was weird, and I think that is important. It will come back. Everybody is weird. We were weird in a very obvious way, but we all have something special about us. The next thing that happened was we started getting booked on gigs when people needed a weird band, and we realized we did not have enough songs to fill up a set. So we started writing more songs. We made a YouTube channel, and I decided we need lots and lots of music because in order to fill a 30-minute set with 2-minute songs about dinosaurs, you're gonna need a lot of tunes. So we did 6 months of weekly songs in the tradition of Jonathan Colton's Song a Week, They Might Be Giant style of song. And we did this just on our webcam in my basement. This is back when YouTube, by the way, looked like this, which is a good time. I love that resolution. I miss it. So that's where we started. And then this started to pick up. YouTube, back then you could make videos and people would watch them. And so we started recording as well. We wanted something to sell at shows. We recorded an EP in a living room with no sound treatment, just on a laptop. We would print the CD, we'd burn them on CDRs. We'd have all our friends over to burn all the CDs at once. We'd stamp them with a stamp, and we would print out the labels on mailing labels and just stick them on something we got at Office Depot. It was a good DIY time. And then when we toured and wanted to play shows, we would have this audience from online say, come to Ohio, come to Boston, come play these places. And we'd be like, sure. Where do we play there? We can't get booked at a club. Have you seen us? So we would have them fill out a Google form. Google Forms, the best product in the world. To tell us where to play. Just basically, is there a place with a room? So we played at game stores, we played at comic shops because we could not get booked at clubs and music venues, and we still can't. It doesn't matter. But we would fill these rooms up, and it was honestly great for 2 reasons. First of all, our fans are awkward weirdos who do not want to go to a concert, just like us. We don't want to leave our house unless we're going to play D&D at the game store, and they don't want to leave their house to do that either. So we played where they were going to be anyway, and so they would actually come to our shows. Second reason is that it is way cheaper to play at the game store than it is to play at a club where they take a cut of everything. And then the other weird stuff we do, we went a different direction than a lot of bands. We were played on podcasts. Our first big break is that our song was played on the Dungeons and Dragons official podcast.
without us even knowing. They had to cut out the end because of all the F-bombs. We opened for a bunch of authors. We made a fan club where our fans could apply and tell us when they first heard of us, and according to that, they would get a number, and the lower the number, the meant you knew us when. It was very Portland of us. We were in Portland. My spouse is number 3, by the way. Did not start dating till 5 years later, but it's so we built our audience through these like weird DIY means. We had put out at this point 2 albums. And then we wanted to make our first big album with a comedy music producer who we really admired. And so we launched our first Kickstarter. We asked for $18,000 to be able to pay this producer because it took a lot of money to pay him, and we made $80,000. This was when we got to quit our day jobs. 3 years into the band, we quit our jobs I was a newspaper reporter who was doing freelance work. My sister was an in-home caregiver, and we both only took a mild pay cut to become full-time rock stars, which is a good job if you can get it. And this is the part of the story where we started getting asked, how did you do this, right? What made your Kickstarter so successful? How do I do what you did? We get emails literally like, I just launched my page. I've made $1. I have 25 days left. What do I do? How do I change my rewards? How do I post an update? What Facebook ads do I need to buy to make my Kickstarter successful? I'm a Kickstarter consultant now because after doing this for a few years, I started seeing my friends struggle without being able to get signed to the label that they wanted or be able to do the tours they wanted to do because they thought they needed some permission. So I start doing this consulting, and people still ask me this question. I just launched my page. I'm about to launch my page. What do I do to make a successful Kickstarter page? This is not the right question. Big red letters. The right question is this. Why? Why would any human in their right mind pay for music in the year of our Lord 2020? It's 2020. Music is not a product. Have these people ever heard of the internet? Right? First it was piracy, then it was just straight up internet services like Spotify and Twitter and Instagram and YouTube made people forget that we ever paid for music or video or art or comedy, right? This is true for everything. Film and animation, journalism, art, illustration. The internet made the purchasing of these items obsolete. So why? Why would anybody pay for this? And the answer, because they like you. Crowdfunding for art is about a relationship. It's not about a product. And that is why, if you email me after you've launched your Kickstarter, it's too late. I'm sorry. Launching a successful crowdfunding page, especially one based on art or personality. So this doesn't apply as much to things like a board game or dice or a cooler or a lamp. It's about these personality projects. It's about an existing relationship. People think that a crowdfunding campaign process looks like this. I'm going to launch my Kickstarter. I'm going to get a big pile of money, and then I will begin the work on my masterpiece, which is a great looking graphic because I spent some time on it. However, that does not make it accurate. It actually looks like this. The first step has got to be to make things. You have to make things and then put those things into the world. Find your audience. Let that audience get to know you, and then make even more things before you launch your project, and then make things again. We're going to get really deep into this, but first we're going to start talking about crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is not a magical box that money comes out of to fund an idea you have. I am sorry. I would really, really like that to be the case. But crowdfunding is being able to afford to create art. It's the ability to create without hitting it big, getting a record label deal, animating a Disney film, hanging a painting in the Louvre. I don't know what other artists want. This is what I imagine. They want being on a major podcast network or going viral. It's being able to afford to make art just on your own. It's being your own boss and everybody else, your own marketing team, your own business manager, the entire office. It's work, but it's the best work ever. Like I said, I was a newspaper reporter, which is, I know you probably realize this, the best paying job. And I did not get a raise when I became a rock star, but I don't have to work at a newspaper writing 7 to 14 stories a week anymore. I get to write songs about cats. So I think it's a pretty good deal. So now we're going to talk about building a crowd. This is for crowdfunding. This is also just if you want to make stuff. And this is the crowd that you can translate into people you can ask money from or just people you can hang out with on the internet. So let's do it. This is the part where my clients and my friends come to me and they say, Laser, I can't build a crowd. You won't let me make the thing I want to. You won't let me ask for money yet. How can I build a crowd? How can I get fans for my music when you won't let me fund my music yet? You won't let me launch the Kickstarter. And I say, shut up and listen to me. I say that a lot. Katie can attest. The 3 elements of a good crowdfunding crowd, which we are going to build without launching a Kickstarter yet. Quantity, investment, and access. Quantity is the obvious one. You want the crowd to be as big as possible, but we're not going to start there. We're going to start with investment. Investment, also engagement, but I know engagement means something very important to you, so I'm not going to say it because I feel like it's a word that you use in your day-to-day lives here at Google, and I don't know what that means. So, investment, a community that cares. Time investment. You want people to spend time with you, right? The more time they spend with you, the more you are a part of their lives. And how do you spend time with them? I will tell you. You build an internet hole and you shove them inside it. What is an internet hole? I think you know this. An internet hole is when you discover the band Pentatonics, the a cappella group who are on that reality show, and then you watch all of their appearances on television and all of their YouTube videos, and then you discover the spin-off bands Superfruit, and you watch all of their videos, and then you discover there are vlogs from all of their tours, and you watch all of those, and then you realize you've watched 5 hours of Pentatonics content, which is more time than you've ever spent talking to your uncles. And now Pentatonics are your family, you know? That's what an internet hole is. I think you've probably fallen down an internet hole of some kind, like British quiz shows or Britney Spears conspiracy theories. This is something that we do in the year of our Lord 2020. I know what year it is. You've got to make this internet hole of content. So, what do you fill your internet hole with? I will tell you. Something you can make. What can you make for free or cheap, regularly, that is very you, that you uniquely can make? Here are some examples. Music videos is the first one because that's what I did. The DoubleClicks have over 100 music videos on the internet. A lot of them are a static camera. Some of them are not. A lot of them are me walking around with a selfie camera and my sister dancing in the background. This is something that we could uniquely make because I took 2 years of multimedia class in high school, so I am a trained filmographer. And I don't really care what people see us doing, silly stuff like that. We also have made some high-res videos. The main difference, I would say, between the videos that we spent $5,000 making and the ones that we made for free is that the ones we made for free have way more views. And also there's way more of them because we can make them for free a lot easier. So when people tell me they can't make music videos because they need a budget, I look at them angrily. But fortunately, we're on the phone and they can't see it. Other things you can put in your internet hole. Jokes. Just write a joke on Twitter. This is something that shares your personality, right? Pet photos, pictures of your cat or dog. People love getting to know your cat or dog. There are people who have drawn a lot of pictures of my cat, and I treasure them very much. Tour vlogs. You gotta watch the Pentatonics tour vlogs, y'all. They're great. Live shows, online shows. This is such a long amount of content, right? Whether this is you recording your podcast live and you stream it on Twitch, this is a video of you creating your electronic music and you just stream it and talk to people while you're making it, or creating art and showing people what you're doing in the process, or time-lapse videos of people making art. I have a client right now who they have written 500 songs, and they refuse to post any of them because they're not perfect, which is something that musicians do. and it makes me crazy. And they are instead writing board game reviews, and I say, that's okay, fine, do that. Share your personality with the internet. Let people spend time with you. Because you can't become a fan of somebody that you've only seen 3 minutes of, right? You can say, that's a great song, I love that. But you're not a fan of them, right? You like the song. You've got to spend more time. I had a client, I have a client named Jenny Kluken who played marimba, and she came to me and she wanted to fund a marimba album. And she said, I have a problem, which is that I have been getting really into art recently, and most of my feed is full of this painting, and people don't even really remember that I play marimba anymore. So I don't even know how to play marimba on Instagram. It's not interesting. And I don't know that people remember what I do. And we had this really fun aha moment where we decided that she would put her marimba music behind these process paintings of her painting. It solves two amazing problems, which are visuals for music videos, which bands are always struggling to find, something fun to put behind her time lapses, some music. When she came to me, she had 400 followers, and she wanted to raise $10,000 for her debut album, which is a pretty common thing when people come to me. I've never put out music before, and I want $1 bajillion. About $1,000 would be what I would estimate you could make for 400 followers. But we put together a project that combined her putting out these time-lapse videos, a Kickstarter at the same time as a commissions drive, and she did it. She made $10,000 to make a debut marimba album in Costa Rica, right? It's incredible. It's impossible, but also amazing. I really love this about her because it is something that uniquely is her, that she really did genuinely think was a problem. All right. The other way you can get your fans invested in you, or one can get their fans, I'm assuming you're all musicians, you can get your fans invested in you with time, is not only to spend passive time with them watching you on the internet, is to make them do stuff with you. So you all remember that great song you loved earlier where I sang about cats. The way that we made a music video for that song is we had our fans take pictures of their cats and made a lyric video. So this is engagement, right? This is audience investment. People had to, first of all, fill out a Google form, excellent product, get assigned a word, and then spend hours trying to wrangle a cat to sit in front of a camera. I can't tell you how many people told us that they were grievously injured trying to get these photos. I'm not kidding. It was a lot. But this video was amazing. You'll notice that some cats are dogs, some cats are snakes. This is a lot of fun. We've actually done a lot of these videos. And of course you're gonna share this because it's got your cat in it. It's got your family in it. It's a really good time. Oh boy, cats are very good. It's got so many cats. So yeah, when I have a client that comes to me and says, I want to make $10,000 to make my debut album, I say, I made 3 albums before I asked for money. I don't say that. I say, what can you make for free or cheap regularly that is very you? And start making that weekly, even if you have a day job, even if you have other stuff going on. It doesn't have to be as long as a music video. It can be a picture. It can be a word. Give that project a name and start doing it. After time investment, we have emotional investment. Ooh, emotional engagement. When you click on people's hearts. The advantage of crowdfunding is that you work for yourself directly with your audience. So you can make what you want to make and not what's popular. And you have to. You need people to really, really feel what you're doing, and they need to feel that it's genuine, and it needs to be specific. I think what you want to do when you're making art or music that is for a crowdfunding audience is that you need to make something that makes somebody say, I've never heard somebody sing my song before, right? That's going to be what is the most successful. It's got to be specific and weird and beautiful, right? It doesn't have to be weird in the obvious, I wore 2 colors of plaid every day to high school, and I write songs about dinosaurs, and I have glasses and had braces for 6 years, kind of laser specific, kind of obvious weird. It's just something is weird about you. Something is unique. You are a unique combination of something. And people are going to relate to that. That is the kind of thing you need to make. And that is what you should make, not the thing that you think is going to be popular. I went to a meeting at the YouTube space once with a bunch of other musical YouTubers, and we talked about how we grew our channels. There was a musical YouTuber there who had a big following that she said was kind of a curse because she had grown it by making cover songs. And what she really wanted to do was do original music. And she had this huge audience who loved her covers, but whenever she posted original songs, they didn't like them. They didn't like them and they didn't listen to them. If she had started perhaps only making the stuff she was truly passionate about, she wouldn't have this enormous audience to begin with. But the people that she would have grown, right, are people that would have really liked her for who she is. There are a lot of hate watchers. There are a lot of people who are going to sit back and say, like, impress me. And those are not the people who are going to donate to your Kickstarter campaign, and they're not the people who are going to show up to your show. But those are the people that artists really want to impress. The critics and the cynics, just throw them out. They're done. I don't care. You're making stuff for yourself, and you're making stuff for the people who like that you're making stuff for yourself. That's how I feel about it. Click on their hearts. The other part of emotional investment is that it is okay to be unpolished. A lot of people want the first thing that they put out into the world to be a $25,000 5-song EP or their hour-long rock opera. They don't ever want to post anything on Instagram that isn't professionally photographed, that isn't the very best quality. And that's great if you are pentatonics. Appreciate them very much. But if you are you and you want to crowdfund something and all you post is the most polished stuff, you're going to have way less content. And you're also going to seem like you don't need money. Don't be afraid to show how broke you are. Get these Hanson impersonators a haircut, don't pretend like you're something you're not. It's okay. We have made some really great stuff thanks to crowdfunding, but we didn't wait to put stuff out until we had the money to make it perfect, On the topic of being yourself, I'm gonna play another song now. Hooray! Thank you. This is a song about the Mars Science Laboratory, Mars Curiosity, the Mars rover. Are you familiar with the concept of science here at Google? And Mars is a planet? Yes, okay, great. I wrote this song the day after Mars Curiosity landed. When that happened, everyone was watching and they were very excited, and felt like a lot of pressure on the rover. Feels like I've held my breath for hours, and I turn on my eyes to find I'm very far away. I take account of all my wheels, my arm, and my tiny drill. After all my training, I will do nothing familiar today. The folks who brought me up for this have such high expectations, and though they shouldn't, they have dared to dream that I can change it all. Millions watch as I turn on my camera and do my first job. I feel so important and so very small. All I can think is of the ways I'll disappoint them. I've got the tools, I've got the team, but I'm not ready for my clothes.
trusts me more than I do. And I still don't feel like I've even grown up. But I am faking it. I'm just pretending I can do this. I am faking it. I am faking it on Mars. They're all watching me, and I don't know if I can take the next few steps with every ticking second. Some of my confidence disappears. Out here it is cold, it is lonely, and I am far from home. What would Hubble say if she were only here? And the worst part is not knowing what will greet me. I represent my planet, but I'm really not prepared. I hope that I have time to ask for all the help I need, and I hope if I find aliens, I won't act too scared. But I am faking it. I'm just pretending I can do this. I am faking it. I am faking it on Mars.
That song is called Imposter. It's a true story about a sentient robot. Okay, we're gonna get back to building our crowd now. And the next part of building our crowd is access. Something so difficult for artists to understand and so easy for communications professionals to understand. Fans. You need to be able to find them, and they need to be able to find you. Click on their faces. Okay. People are lazy. This is something that I think I brought in from being a reporter. When I was reporting on things for the newspaper, I would frequently need to get in touch with people. Like, I want to write about how great your building is. I was an architecture reporter. I would like to talk to anyone. You do not have a phone number or an email address. And I have brought this frustration into my world of music. You can contact me on my website, and you always will be able to, because I want to take your money. So always being one click away is super important. Your videos should be directly on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, right? Your art should be right there. There should be a mailing list sign up right in the video description of your YouTube videos. And you should also be everywhere, right? Be on Bandcamp, be on iTunes, be on Spotify, be on Amazon. Really, definitely be on Google Music. It's an incredible product that people should be using. Our fans ask us a lot of the time, what's the best place? Where should we buy your music? Where do you get the most money? Which is a very nice thing for our fans to ask. And I say, please just wherever you're going to listen to it, because I only listen to music one place, and I think a lot of people are the same way. I remember, and I think I am the last generation of people ripping a CD, putting it onto your computer, transferring it to your listening device. People don't do that anymore. They just like press play somewhere. Just be places. Just do it. It's more important to be findable. It's more important to be findable and free than make 99 cents every once in a while. Just spend time with people. If you're an artist or you're a comic artist, make stuff available for free. This is a top tip. New fan welcome page. Whoever you are, make a place where people can come and get to know you on your website. Who are the band members? What are their fun, unique quirks? What are the most popular songs or episodes of your podcast? What is an inside joke? Let's get to know each other so that they can feel like they're part of it when they come to the show. Make people feel like part of it. The flip side of this, can you get in touch with your fans? Maybe you are an incredible band. Every year you play at this festival, there are 1,000 people who are so excited to see you. 6 months later, you launch a Kickstarter. Nobody backs it because nobody knows, right? If you can't get in touch with your fans, it doesn't matter that you have a fan base. And that is why my tombstone is going to say, did you have a mailing list? Incentivize joining a mailing list with free songs, art, live recordings. Text to join mailing list options at live events. Mailing list joining option on your website. Make a mailing list. Make a mailing list. Then you can mailing list people day one of your Kickstarter. People will tell you, or a crowdfunding option, that day one is so important. It really, really is. You've got to have this momentum. You've got to look successful. Your fans want to hear from you. This is something that my clients, that musicians really don't believe. They're like, I don't want to bother anybody. People like your music and they want to hear it and they want to hear from you. So please get them on a mailing list, post about yourself, get them to follow you, and yeah, talk to them, take advantage of it. All right, now we're back to quantity. You have made yourself discovery ready. You have created a very seductive internet hole, and now you want to shove a bunch of people into it. I am in love with the internet hole, and I will not stop talking about it. So how do you find the fans to plug into that hole, and how do you get people to join your mailing list? Well, let's find out. You've got to be an exciting discovery. So you've got to spend your time well. There are a million places, there are a million Reddits, there are a million meta filters and live shows and places you can go. Where are the places you should be? And I will tell you, you go to the place of low competition. You go to where you are the only band, right? The only band at the comedy show, or the only painter at the magic show, right? The place where people go and they see you and they say, I did not expect to see that here. And that makes you exciting, right? You find the thing that is weird about you, the thing that you think is a distraction, your hobbies, your passions, the weird TV shows you like, the weird skills you have from your day job, and you use that to build your audience. You make art about it. You don't have to literally make art about it. We wrote a song about the film Cowboys, Boys, and Aliens. It was a mistake. You don't have to do that kind of thing. But you want to find the opportunities where you are the only person like you there. And the reason is, first of all, that you will be exciting, and also that you will create this audience that makes you an asset to your community, right? You're not just another heavy metal band on the heavy metal lineup. You are the heavy metal band that brings all the weird wine tasting people to the heavy metal show that would never have otherwise come to the heavy metal show, right? And that means that you're going to get booked there way more often than the people who just bring the same regular audience. The other thing you need to do is network. And network is a word that a lot of people don't like, but what that really means is make friends. And making friends is great, and making friends with creative people is amazing, especially because you get to eat at home a lot because we're all really broke. You want to make friends with people who make different things than you. Make friends with somebody who makes video games, and maybe they do pixel art, and they can do a cover for your album, and you can make music for their game. You want to make friends with all kinds of people. Don't do it with the intention of exploiting them for money. Do it because you like making friends, because honestly, that's fun. So let's check in. We have done these things. We have made things. We put them into the world. You've found your audience. They got to know you right in that internet hole. We've made things. And now we're finally launching our crowdfunding project almost all the way through the talk. That's on purpose. There are a lot of challenges at this stage, and I will be happy to take questions about them. Here are the main ones. A clear mission statement to drive the project is super important. Why this project? Why now? You need to ask for a realistic amount of money. You need to design rewards that appeal to the right levels of audience. A marketing plan that your audience is aware that the project is happening. This is your mailing list, in addition to other things. And you need to appear and be professional and have follow through. But all of that stuff aside, the crowd part of crowdfunding is the most important and most easily ignored part of crowdfunding. It's creating art in a community at the same time. And it's honestly its own, and this sounds real silly, its own reward, right? Why do you want to spend $25,000 to make an EP? Because you like making art, right? So I'm going to raise $25,000 to make an EP. Well, that's all disposable. That money's going to come. You're going to spend it on a studio that's more expensive than what you need, and it's going to go away. But at the end of the day, you're going to have a community of people whose lives you've touched, and the world is going to be better because you've created more art. And that's wonderful. And you're never going to have a boss. And that's the best. I get to play a keyboard that is shaped like a cat. My sister gets to dance around in a banana suit with ribbons, and we literally have no performance reviews. It's a great life. So I recommend if you want to have an aspect of your life where you just do things on your own, or you want to support people who are crowdfunding, it's really just sort of this pure, almost anti-capitalist, in a weird way, form of art where people can just make stuff. And I truly believe in it. I love crowdfunding very much. And that is the end of my talk. So thank you very much.
What is a good way to focus test your music and figure out those niche audiences where you would not necessarily find competition, but not necessarily think of those right away?
Ooh, like where to find the audience that you want?
Yeah.
Make things is step one. That's a good question. Are you asking how to know what music to make?
No, how to know which audience it might appeal to, the stuff that you're already making.
Like how to find your first 10 fans.
Oh, I see.
Who are not, somebody you know already.
Right. It's a really good question. I would say people think of things that you like, right? There's weird stuff that formed you that made you make the things that you make, right? So for me, it's like They Might Be Giants, Pirates of the Caribbean, like just weird stuff that has formed me into the person I am, Kimya Dawson. And wherever those people are right now, they might be on Tumblr, they might be on a weird Reddit, find them. Like they may not already be your friend, but they probably exist somewhere. The internet is full of strange communities. Probably at Google, you guys don't know that, but I would just it never hurts to just try to submit stuff. At the beginning, we threw our stuff up on Reddits and didn't care if people were like, "Go away," right? You just throw your stuff up on YouTube, throw stuff on and post that link on Reddit, and just be like, I don't know, this is a song that's got my cool electronic beat, and over it I yelled some lyrics about The Witcher. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. I would just search for like weird niche communities that have nothing to do with music and see if there's interest in it. Yeah.
But communities that you are still interested in.
Yeah. Something that relates to stuff you care about.
I wanted to ask about the different paths to making money with your music. It seems like you're focused on the crowdfunding and having these relationships, but a lot of times these days people are making money with ads and merchandise. Do you see these as like kind of alternative paths? Because in my mind, sometimes ads and merchandise can seem maybe alienating to people. It's like touches on personal elements, right?
Yeah, I think ads, like it depends. So if you're doing this crowdfunding path, then you're prioritizing a relationship, right? Because that's what you're going to be exploiting, where the money's coming from. If you're going for ads, you're going to be chasing views, right? You're going to try to get as many hits as possible. So instead of writing a song about cats, what you should be doing is covering Let It Go as many times as humanly possible. And if you're making merchandise, you should just be making a shirt with a cat on it over and over again, or a parody of what's his name? I don't know. A parody of a movie poster, right? Like those are definitely different. You're starting from a different place of if that's what you're trying to maximize is income. I definitely think those are very, very different ways to go about it. Which is why if you have like a board or a record label whose job it is to make the most money, that's probably what they're going to be trying to get you to do, is how do we get the song that is the most popular song possible, where my niche song about video games and non-binary gender identity is not the most popular song ever. It would probably be a song about like vodka. I don't know. Those are two
Whatever
different...
the kids like these days.
They love vodka. Those are it's I feel like it's a different. I don't think it's bad, honestly. I think you can touch a lot of people by getting messages in through those, a cover or a pop song. But I think that you are going a very different direction that way.
Right. So would you feel like you would alienate some of your followers if you were suddenly like promoting some merch on Etsy or something weird like that?
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm wearing Laser Malena-Webber merch.
Yeah,
so
Katie's wearing my merch right now.
It works out fine.
Yeah, we sell merch. I mean, we sell merch on our Kickstarters, but it's not. It's a relationship based merch. We sell merch and people buy it because they know we need money. I think, or they do it because to support us. We don't need money. They do it to support us more than I think I want a cool T-shirt. It's less of a Hot Topic product and more of a pledge product. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't think are bothered by that, but I do think it does make. I think about whenever we put up something that's for sale, I do think about the fan. I'm like very much conscious of the fans as people more than I am us as a store.
So I had a more silly question. Do you have a favorite dinosaur?
Great question. My favorite dinosaur is Triceratops because Sarah from Land Before Time is a sassy B word, and I love her very much. Great question.
I'm going to use the word internet hole a lot, so everyone get over it.
Yeah.
That's a really cool concept. I love it.
Thank you.
It's also kind of scary because I feel like I would be worried about spending 6 months making an internet hole and then finding out that it was bad.
Yeah.
What are some tools or tips to improve the walls of your internet hole? I don't know.
Thank you. I definitely understand. You want to, you don't want to spend a lot of time making something and then be like, I've put 2 years into this and nobody has picked it up yet. I will say that when we started, we put 5 weeks into it before it started picking up steam. And by picking up steam, I mean like 1,000 views, which isn't that much for your AdSense, and I'm sorry, but it is a lot for us. Like when I think of our views as opposed to views for people like real YouTube stars, I just think of like, what if I was playing a show for 1,000 people right now? That would be amazing, right? But to answer your question, first of all, realistic expectations of like, I think if more than 10 people watch or like something, it's good, right? But also you need some honest friends. Katie's very honest. And you I think I honestly think you need honest friends. I am very lucky that my collaborator is my sister, and that no matter what happens, we are still going to be related to each other. I will play a song for her, and she knows that she is the first person to hear the song. And if she reacts badly to it, or just stone-faced, that song is going in the trash and never coming out. And that has happened a few times, and I get mad at her. But it's for the best because those songs are bad. I can't acknowledge that in the moment. But yeah, you really need, you don't, I think, need the internet to tell you that. You need a person to tell you that. And also, I think that's really why you need to go do like an open mic, do whatever kind of art engagement. You really need to go out into the world to hone the craft. I think Ira Glass has something where has a quote where like you got to make a bunch of bad stuff before you start making good stuff, and that's so true. It's so true. But also, your first album's going to be the best one, regardless. Ask any fan. So there's a switch off there. Yeah.
So a lot of the like building your internet hole and starting to build those relationships with your audience is just really about putting yourself out there a lot, like putting out a lot of content, making a lot of new friends. How do you, if you're someone who has a lot of urges about not wanting to like really put yourself out there, how do you fight that? Like, what are your strategies for putting out content that you know isn't as good as you wish it were, or putting yourself in new communities where you feel intimidated, like you don't know anyone?
If you are making stuff that maybe it isn't perfect, but you're making it for the right reason, you're making it to get better, it's so much better than if you're making it to get popular. You're still going to be proud of yourself. And I know that sounds fake, but it is so real. I have definitely made videos because I'm like, people love this, and immediately regretted it because people comment on it and their comments are true, But if I make something that's just for me and it's stupid and weird and people comment on it like this is stupid and I hate it, I don't care because like I love it, right? I can dance around dressed as Data from Star Trek singing about a cat, and if people don't like it, they can go to hell. I had a good time. I know I said a lot about putting yourself out there. You don't have to put your real name out there. You don't have to put your real identity out there. You can definitely throw walls up around who you are if that's part of your concern. But I think that you truly do have something to offer the world, and you should not be afraid to try to offer that to the world, and you should not feel discouraged if it is not immediately popular, because art, gosh, things are bad and art is good. And I think that is really the just fearlessly creating things is the only thing that we can do to fight back against the forces that tell us that we're not allowed to be ourselves. I don't know. I think just believe and do it. I'll talk to you more after because I want to know specifically what your concerns are. But like, I understand not wanting to put yourself out there, and that is okay, and that's totally legitimate. But if you want to be a creator, do it. All you can do is create, and everything you make is going to disappear soon anyway. So you might as well make a lot of stuff instead of just one perfect thing,
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Laser.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank you,
so much for
everybody.
joining us today.
Please take my book, Crowdfunding for Musicians, even if you are not a musician. And it has a cool meta-narrative about some people who are ghosts who are trying to kickstart their album, and then they keep getting experimented on by the government. So please
Got a great narrative.
check out Ghoul Squad. Okay, thank you.